KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
All you ever get from me is a head shake.
You always the head shake and always the howl, right?
Oh, wow.
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
What a beautiful Saturday
Rob is
morning.
like deaf in his left ear now, I think.
I know. He's going deaf. He was already deaf to begin with, and it's just sort of progressing.
Well,
right
you know,
there,
that
isn't
happens
it?
when you're seasoned, as you like to put it. And stuff. It is a beautiful day in Houston, Texas, and I bet you there's a lot of realtors out there listening and showing clients today, because everyone I've talked to is already busy.
Oh, I'll tell you, the market has been, so far this year, the market has been absolutely tremendous. It's been really busy, a lot of activity. We're only on the 11th day of the year, the 11th day, and I will tell you, me personally,
Feels like
has
it's
had more
March.
activity than I've had in any given January, in any given year,
Yeah.
in the past 11 years.
And just to kind of restate where we are right now is that last year about this time
We're at the radio
about
station.
four. No, actually,
What's
we didn't
wrong
start
with
till
Rob,
we didn't
Chris?
start till March, but we were about 4 months supply of homes back then, and now we're down to 2.9. I mean, it's just
Right.
It's incredible. So
And we are on the 12th floor also.
yes.
Yes,
Anyhow,
at the radio station. Rob stayed out too late last night or something.
I was with you.
Oh,
yeah.
And that is the sound of the bus.
Well, if you're going to throw me under, I'm going to pull you pull you
down
in with me. So, but
Wow.
we want to talk today about.
We have got some cool stuff to talk about.
We do, because there's creative ways to buy homes, and a lot of people feel limited. Said, well, this is what I want to do, and they may not be able to do it. But we have
There's some
resources.
very new stuff coming down in Texas that's brand new to Texas.
We could only get somebody to come in here and talk about reverse.
If only we had an
mortgages.
expert to talk about reverse mortgages.
I know. Who could that possibly be?
Who? Maybe
Wow.
somebody like who's been on radio before and has some
and
experience with this.
sitting to my right, which is Gary Wood. Welcome, Gary. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Gary is in an elite crowd. He's like one of only a few folks who have ever been on the Real Estate Rat Pack twice.
Because most of them have better judgment about
Yes.
coming back.
Yes. Most people are like, "Are you kidding? I'm
Yeah.
never going back there."
Joe told me I had the perfect face for radio, so here I am again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of things change, and there's some legislation this year that's going to change reverse mortgages. So let's get into that as to what is a reverse mortgage.
A reverse mortgage is it's an FHA insured loan. It's a HUD program. Most of what we think about as reverse mortgage is from the HUD program that started. This program started in 1989 during the Reagan administration. So 90% of your reverse mortgages are through this program, and they are for homes that are appraised up to $625,500. And the other 10% are proprietary products from like conventional loans from lenders that are more like jumbo loans. And so in Texas, we have always had reverse mortgage refinance, which is also available in every other state. But every other state since January 1, 2009 has had reverse mortgage for purchase loans. And that's where a homeowner can buy a house using a reverse mortgage. And that's coming to Texas now.
Well, let's go back to the conventional, and we'll get to the other piece, because that's the exciting piece for me. The legislature allowed it, and it's going to be a very exciting and great opportunities for you and your business.
Yes.
But let's talk about the typical, what we've seen in the past. It's a reverse mortgage. The homeowner either has paid his house off or has substantially paid the house down to low. Go through the logistics of how it works.
Well, the homeowner gets a cash advance for a portion of their home equity. So when I'm talking with a prospective applicant, then what we do is we look at what their numbers are, how much equity do they have. If they're free and clear, of course, we don't have an issue. But they have to have enough equity for the numbers to work, because the loan is for a percentage of the appraised value, and that's based on their age. And the older they are, the higher that loan amount is, as the higher that percentage of the appraised value.
And what does the percentage start off with?
The percentage starts off at around 55% for a 62-year-old, and for a 90-year-old, it goes up to like in the low 70, like around 70%. So, and then you also have to factor in your closing costs. So, I mean, sometimes I will talk to a homeowner, and if they've recently refinanced, done a cash out refinance and pulled money out, or if they have a high loan balance and not much equity, then the numbers aren't going to work for them. They're not going to be a good candidate for that.
You know, and one of the things also is, one of the things I always hear out there is, it's not only for people who have paid off their home. You can actually have owed a little bit on your home and do a reverse mortgage. Is that correct?
Yes, you can have a loan balance, and the loan balance just has to be low enough so by the time that we look at what your loan amount is going to be and what your closing costs are, so you just have to have enough equity in the house so that you're not bringing money to closing.
Gotcha.
Well, I know that we have a lot of folks out there listening, and this is a brand new subject for Texas with purchasing and all that sort of thing. So I know there's a lot of unfamiliarity out with the product, and we already have a call on the line. So we want to jump to our caller, and I can't see the screen, Chris. So you're
John. John is
John.
John is called in. John, how you doing, bud?
Yes, I am, guys. Good morning.
Good
Great
morning.
show, by the way.
Thank you.
Hey, I got a quick question for y'all. Is credit an issue with reverse mortgage?
Is credit an issue with reverse mortgage, Gary?
It is not at this time. Reverse mortgages are not credit-based, but we are going to see a change in that soon. A financial assessment was set to begin January 13th, but HUD has delayed that. HUD has pushed that back. So probably no sooner than mid-March, and maybe at some point after that, we will have a financial assessment. We don't know when that's going to take place. We don't know what that's going to consist of. HUD has to tell us that. But probably at the very least, we can expect that we will now be looking at a homeowner's history of, do they maintain homeowners insurance on their property, and also their history of paying their property taxes. And so probably if we have problem situations in this area, one way that this could be addressed is the homeowner might be asked to set aside escrow accounts, put some money in escrow maybe for several years to make sure that the homeowner's insurance and property taxes, that the funding for that is covered.
So, now is a good time then, if since it's not any credit-based right now is definitely a good time to give you a call to take a look at this before that goes into play.
Exactly. I'm advising everybody that's considering it to go ahead and let's get the process started, because if I can look at it now, and if your numbers work, if you're at least 62, if you're getting the loan on your primary residence, and if your home is up to FHA, in good repair, up to FHA standards or close to that, then you can get in. But after the financial assessment comes, then that's going to be more hoops that the applicant has to jump through.
John, did that help with some of your questions right there?
That answers all my questions. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, likewise, John. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in, John. We are available for a call, especially if I can finish that thought. We are available for your questions with Gary here, expertise on reverse mortgages like crazy. 800-808-5548. So feel free to give us a call, 800-808-5548.
And Gary, one of the things also what John was mentioning, a lot of times people don't realize in the mortgage industry It's based on application date. So let's say, for example, there's going to be a future change, usually in FHA or in reverse mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. If you can get your application done prior to those changes, then you qualify under some of the old rules, correct?
Yes. Typically, when they have changes, and it seems like every year we have waves of changes. We had the program changed significantly April 1st, then it changed significantly October 1st, and now we're looking at the financial assessments that's going to be changing early this year. The change is based on the date that the FHA case number was assigned. And so that's always a drop dead date, is like if you can get in and get your case number assigned before whatever the change is being set to implement, then you can get in under the old program.
Do you think they're going to use the same kind of underwriting guidelines that they currently use with FHAs, or do you think they're going to be a streamlined or different type of credit scoring? Good question, huh?
Yeah, and yeah, he saw
the view of gosh, how do I answer that one?
Yeah, he saw the blank deer in the headlights. Look here on these reverse mortgage for purchase loans. My disclaimer is I've never done one of these, and nobody else in Texas has. This is a new program, and it's not implemented yet. So I will just give you the answer that's the best to my knowledge, the best that I know. But that is subject to change. But I would just think that probably the financial assessment is not going to be. It will probably be somewhat more lenient than with just a regular FHA loan.
And then remember also, usually speaking, even on a traditional FHA doesn't set a credit score. FHA has never done that, even on the traditional market.
It's your lender.
Yeah, it's the overlays from the investors. It's the secondary market who actually puts, we're only going to buy loans under this type with this type of credit score, et cetera. So a lot of what Gary is saying is, unfortunately, we don't really know until the investors come out and say we're going to put this in there.
Right. And as you know, Chris, when we talk to underwriters and we'll say, well, can we get this through? What about this and what about that? And a lot of times they'll come back with, well, Gary, I understand what you're saying, but I can't get my investor to buy that. We have your applicant has to meet this standard.
Right, absolutely. And that's always important because people really don't understand sometimes about those overlays. So you read one thing online, you read one thing as reference to guidelines, et cetera. But then whatever the secondary market ends up doing, that's what ends up being the actual guidelines that we have to meet in order to originate a loan.
Right.
So, and the other thing, one of the things we get a lot of questions on in regards to reverse mortgages is, number one, we already asked that question, is can you have a loan amount and still do it? Secondly is, why a reverse mortgage? Let us know sort of what are the true benefits, because a lot of times people say, is a reverse mortgage right for me or is it not right for me? What are some of the benefits associated with it if I own a home, if I want to look at a reverse mortgage, and if I'm of age?
Okay. There are some advantages to it. There are some benefits, and we'll go through those. But let me just say that with any loan program, it's not a one-size-fits-all. You just have to look at that, as you know, you just have to look at that individual applicant situation and see what's the best fit for them. And for some seniors, a reverse mortgage is a good fit, and for some seniors in their situation, it isn't. They should look at some other type of financing, more traditional type of financing. But a couple of the features and advantages are, for right now, there's no financial assessment, so it's not credit-based. It's easier to get approved. And many times, Chris, I don't know if you have experienced this, but when you have a senior that's coming in and applying, and like anybody else, they have to meet the financial assessment, they have to meet the income requirements, they have to meet they look at their assets and their debts. So if somebody's on a fixed income and they don't have enough income requirement, then that's one way that we can address that problem, is they will qualify with a reverse mortgage. One of the advantages of a reverse mortgage is your monthly principal and interest payment is optional. As the applicant goes through their loan term, they can pay down on their loan balance anytime they want, as much as they want, but they can get their loan and live in that house for the rest of their life and not ever make a payment to the mortgage company. They don't.
That is awesome. We're going to
Right.
continue having this conversation. As you can hear the music, we're up against a break, and we're also up against having some of these kolaches in studio, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Well, you know, Mike didn't like.
My head keeps spinning.